What's up, everybody? This is Taylor Vippolis, and I want to welcome you to the Players Lounge. It's a new podcast brought to you by Inside Carolina in partnership with Heels for Life, UNC Football's NIL collective created to bring together UNC football players, fans, and businesses. If you enjoy content like this, go check them out at heelsforlife.org and become a member today so we can keep bringing you these kind of episodes and you could get access to other exclusive content. Today, I'm joined by my former teammate, Shakeel Rashad, who's the executive director for Heels for Life. And today we're joined by UNC defensive lineman Travis Shaw, the freshman, making waves early in Chapel Hill. Travis, appreciate you getting on here with us today. I noticed there's a baseball player in the MLB also named Travis Shaw. Is that something you were aware of? And I guess the question would be, who is the real Travis Shaw?
Oh man, that's definitely something I'm aware of. Just being out in public, people like look my name up, this, that, and the third, talking to people. They always that's the first question. Wait, you play baseball? Da da da. So it's just like, man, it's really crazy. Just to have the same name, as a professional player. So just talking to people and everybody thinking I play baseball is just like, nah, that's the wrong one. That ain't the right Travis Shaw. That's the wrong one. So
Is it something on social media too where you guys both are named Travis Shaw, where sometimes you're getting tagged in baseball clips and maybe sometimes he's getting tagged in all these high recruiting football clips?
oh man, I promise you right now, if I show you my DMs, I requested, I'll probably have at least the top six would be, me tagged in baseball posts and just things like that. So it's crazy, man. It's like, do y'all not look at the Instagram y'all are tagging before you click it? Like,
I don't know, man. You got a build of a baseball player. You look like a baseball player to
me. Like, man, are y'all looking at the profile or not? Y'all just clicking stuff on there, huh?
Oh, that's incredible. Well, I feel like the one way to differentiate y'all, like on Google and everything, might be with nicknames. So I noticed your Twitter name is Cheesy Trav. What's the story with that, man? Maybe we can start calling you that instead.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. As I was making my Twitter account, I was trying to put, Travis Shaw, blah blah blah. But I guess since since the MLB player Travis Shaw has his name as Travis Shaw, I guess I couldn't use that one. So I really just looked at suggested, and I had a couple suggested, and I think the first one was like XYZT something, just a whole bunch of random letters, and then it was like Shaw, and I was like, nah. Then it was like another one, and it was like some random stuff, and it was like, nah. Then the third one was Cheesy Trav, so I was like, oh yeah, Cheesy Trav it is. That's how I just clicked it.
You gotta be the only person that's ever actually used a suggested Twitter name. I feel like they suggest those all the time and nobody ever uses them.
That's how it was, man. Just click Cheesy Trav and we roll with it.
Yeah. Do you have any other nicknames that maybe you picked for yourself and not Twitter picking for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. So my name is really like Travis Rashawn Shaw Jr., so I get called Junior some. Mm-hmm. Usually, like normally, a lot of people like that's really close to me, like my family and everything, they call me Big Stepper.
Okay.
So that's really the name that I stick with nickname wise, Big Stepper.
I love that nickname, Big Stepper, and kind of leads perfectly into the next question I wanted to ask you. You picked number four on a defensive lineman, a big stepper. It's a bold statement. How did you land on number 4?
Yeah. So it's funny. So like coming up in high school, the single digits just looked cool to me. It just matched my vibe, matched my swag on the field. So my freshman year, as I'm coming out as a ninth grader, I'm coming out, and my freshman year was probably the where my high school was the best or had the most amount of talent. So so I come out for practice on the first day, and Coach Brown, he's like, go over there with the JVs. So I had on number 8. So I go over there with the JVs, and like, I'll probably give you 7 minutes max. He's like, nope, you got to come over here with the varsity. So as I'm coming over with the varsity, I see it's like another number 8. So I'm like, how's this going to work? So the next day at practice, he's like, yeah, you're not going back with the JVs, blah, 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 blah. You're coming up to varsity. We got to change your number. So I'm confused. I'm like lost. So it's like, it was a senior tight end. It was our senior tight end, and he had a number 8. So he's like, either you can switch your number to this or switch your number to that. And I was like, nah, I want 8, coach. And he's like, well, the senior guy got 8, so you want to go talk to the senior guy, then, da, da, da. I was like, all right, coach, he got it. So that lead, I got 18. So I couldn't get 8, so I got 18. So as I got 18, I'm going through 18. And 18, it just wasn't comfortable. Like it just won't sit right with the 1 and the 8 right there. It just won't sit right with me. So my junior year, I decided to go single digit. I finally got the single digit. I'm talking to Coach Brown, which is my head high school coach. I'm talking to him. I'm like, Coach, I'm going back single digit, blah, blah, blah. So he like, what single digit number you want? I'm like, give me 2, coach. So he goes in the equipment room. He grabs out 2. You're not gonna fit in this, Travis. So a couple of days go by, and I'm like, he like, just take a couple of days and think about any other number you want, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking about it like, nah, coach, I want 2. So what they did was they just ordered, bigger jerseys for me. They ordered a big enough jersey for me to wear. So that's how I got 2. So then when I got here, I wanted to keep 2 because it says, I did pretty good in 2, my junior and senior year. So as I got here, we had a defensive player that already has 2, and he's an older guy. So it was like, I wasn't going to go come in and he already had 2 for his time being there. I wasn't going to come in like, hey, yo, let me get 2 or let's work something out, blah, blah, blah. So that's how I didn't get 2 in college. So my next thought process was, okay, what other number will I get? So across the whole D-line, we really got like single digits. So we got, we got Javari Ritchie with 5. We got Keyshawn Silver with 6. We got Miles Murphy with 8. We got Desmond Evans with 10. So my thought process there was like, okay, boom. If I get 4, then it's going to be no. So Coach Galloway, he gave me the choice of 1 and 4. He gave me the choice of number 1 and 4. So I'm like, I'm not getting number 1. I didn't like how the 18 looked. I didn't like how the 1 looked at 18. So I know just the 1 period is not going to look good. So I'm like, I'm not getting number 1. That is out of the picture. So I'm like, boom, just give me number 4. And I got 4. So now it's D-line is 4, 5, 6. And then you got 8. So that's how I got the number 4.
When you're growing up playing football, were you always on the line, or, can Carolina fans expect to see you kind of get loose with the ball maybe at times with the number 4?
If I'm being really honest, my first time playing D-line was when I got to high school.
Wow.
Growing up, I was always the bigger kid and this, that, and the third. But like my skill set is a skinny person's skill set. But somehow, I just got bigger. So growing up, I played a lot of quarterback. I played a lot of fullback. I played a lot of, other positions that, people would typically look at me and say I played. So like AAU, Pop Warner, middle school, I played quarterback. So I moved to D-line. In middle school, I played quarterback and I played D-line. So like, score a touchdown, go to the sideline, get some water, come back, play D-line. So, so I mean, it's up to Coach Matt Brown. He wanna display my talent that much and put me on the opposite side of the ball, and let's wreak havoc on that side too.
With that skill set, we're starting to see more of that in the NFL with guys like, Christian Wilkins when he's lining up with the Dolphins at that like fullback position. When you're looking at this UNC team with the single-digit defensive linemen, so you, Javari Ritchie, Keyshawn Silver, Miles Murphy, who is the most likely from that group to get loose and score a touchdown on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, it'll definitely be me. It'll definitely be. I'm the only one with experience on that side of the ball, so it'll definitely be me for sure.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, speaking of getting the ball in your hands, I know you played a little basketball in high school. I got to ask, I think I know your answer is going to be, but were you any good?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Can pull up highlights right now. Of course. Of
You
course.
think you still got it? It hasn't been long.
Of course I still got it. I haven't we can go to the gym right now and I still of course. Of course.
All right. Well, in that case, I got to ask you and see how confident you really are. If you had played 5 to 7 minutes a night during March Madness for UNC, what stats are you putting up?
If I play 5 to 7 minutes in March Madness for UNC, oh, of course, I'm balling. Of course. I probably I'm playing 5 to 7 minutes. I got to keep that in mind. All right. 5 to 7 minutes. Oh, yeah. Easily 10 points. Easy 10 points. The centers, they kind of tall in, college. So I get about 2 blocks. They ain't fundamentally sound. I get about 2 blocks. Couple steals because they clumsy with the ball and they start dribbling. So I have like 10 points, 2 steals, two blocks. I ain't perfect. About 2 turnovers, and I'm more of a passer than anything. So I'll probably say 6 or 7 assists for sure.
I like that. My gosh, that's a nice quick 5 to 7 minutes. We might have to get you some starter minutes.
Yeah. I'm balling. Off rip.
Yeah.
Balling.
So either on UNC or somewhere else, who's your player comp in basketball? If we look at NBA, college, who do you compare yourself to on the court?
If I had to compare myself to anybody on a court, you're gonna have to give me a Joel Embiid. Give me a Joel Embiid.
I like
Give me a
that.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I could see you with that finesse around the bucket.
Finesser, the dog talking, all of that. That's me. That's me.
All right, here's my last question on basketball because I want to see how confident you really are. You play LeBron one-on-one by ones and twos to 100. It's make it, take it.
Mm-hmm.
You start with 95 and the ball. Are you winning that game?
95 and the ball to 100?
Yep. LeBron James.
Yeah. Money on the line. Put that in my pocket. I need that.
Let's go.
Of course. He can't. I'm telling you. If we started on the 3-point line, then he might get me. But if we started on that block, that's me all day. He can't handle that. He can't.
I can see you going to work.
Is that the strategy?
For sure.
Just back him down in the post?
Yeah, he's fragile. He hurt right now. That's me. That money is on the line in my pocket. That's mine. That's mine for sure.
That's a good point. This is probably your best time to get him with the Lakers down out of the playoffs.
For sure.
We want to use this time to let fans to get to know you a bit more, and I think we're doing that so far. But if you had to pick one meal for the rest of your life, what would you say your favorite meal is?
Mama's home cooked chicken, off the rip. Mama's home cooked chicken.
Is there a chance me and Shaq can meet you in Greensboro for some of this home cooked chicken?
Oh yeah, pull up the Easter dinner. Pull up.
He didn't waste any time on that either. He knew exactly what he was going to. It must be good.
Pull up.
It's got to be good.
Gotta be.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's keep going and getting to know you. What's on your pregame playlist? Like when you're walking around pregame, we can see you bobbing your hair with the headphones in. What can we expect you're listening to at that moment?
Oh man. Any particular song or like any particular artist?
Either. Like artists, songs, anything like that.
Oh, off the rip, I'll give you 4 different artists or 4 different songs. So first song is gonna be Lil Baby. Well, first artist is gonna be Lil Baby. Yeah. Anything by Lil Baby to get me in the zone. Anything. Next, I have to go with Big Yavo. Song called "I'm Him." Okay. That's the next one. Third artist, I have to go Lil Double O. Come Meet the Walkers. That's gonna get me fired up right there. Fourth. Fourth song, fourth artist. Oh man,
he's struggling.
Anything by I'll turn on YoungBoy. I don't really listen to YoungBoy, but like if I need to get in that demon mode, I'll turn on YoungBoy for sure.
Yeah, that's pregame music for sure.
For sure.
And then everyone's got them, the embarrassing songs. What's there on your iPod or on your phone right now that fans would be surprised it's in there?
That's a tough question.
You look like a Miley Cyrus guy to me.
Alex Cyrus. Ooh.
Me and Shaq are both Justin Bieber guys.
I'll raise my hand. I'm a Bieber guy. Yeah, I'll admit it.
I got to take it back to those Sunday cleanup days when Mom got the ox. It was some Keisha Cole or something for sure.
Okay, yeah,
For sure,
yeah.
for
What does she have?
for
She has
sure.
like Lions, Tigers, and Bears. That one song Keisha Cole has. Is that Keisha Cole? I can't remember. Someone fact check it. We'll check that later. We're not fact checking. Keep it moving. We won't fact check it.
Travis, who are you living with at Carolina?
My roommates.
Yeah.
I live with Zach, Trey, and George.
Okay, so with those guys, I'm going to ask you a question, and then you say who it applies to the most.
Got you.
Roommate that you're the closest with.
Zach Rice.
The messiest roommate.
The messiest roommate?
Yeah.
George Pettaway. George Pettaway.
You didn't have to think twice. Is that a common area thing or just his room?
And his room, the common area, the kitchen. Zach can tell you the bathroom, everywhere.
What about the roommate everybody has to make sure is awake for an early lift or practice?
Zach Rice. Zach Rice. The other day we had a team meeting. What's today? Today's Wednesday. We had a team meeting on Monday at 10 o'clock. So I like to get up pushing the time. So like we got a team meeting at 9. The walk from where I live to the stadium is probably like 10 minutes. So I get up at like 9:20. I wake up, I'm brushing my teeth, blah, blah, blah. I look down the hall. Trey's gone, good. George gone, good. Both of their doors open. So I go back to brushing my teeth, and I'm like, wait, hold on. Look back down the hallway, and Zach's door is still closed. So I'm like brushing my teeth as I'm walking down to his room, and I'm like knocking on it, no answer. I'm like, all right, maybe he's gone. I'm like, nah, he's not gone. Knock on it again. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? I'm like, we got a 10 o'clock meeting, right? 10 o'clock team meeting, right? He's like, what kind of meeting? What kind of meeting we got? I said, we got a 10 o'clock team meeting, Zach. He said, wait, we got that today? I said, I said, you ain't get the team works? He said, I did, but I thought that was like next Monday. I'm like, Zach, why would we have a team meeting next Monday? Like, what are you talking about? He's all, man, all right, just give me 5 minutes. I'll be ready. 5 minutes, I'll be ready. So by this time, it's like 9:35. So I'm like, go back in there. He's turned back over. I'm like, Zach, we have a team meeting with Coach Brown. Get up. Like, get up. What are you doing? He's talking, man, I promise you I was just up. I don't know what happened. I turned back over. I'm like, yo, you are really tripping right now, dog. Get up. We have a team meeting. So Zach would be the one that you have to remind and, make sure he's up, rolling when the ball's time to go. It's even worse when we got like 6 a.m. practices. George is the driver. So like them early mornings, nobody wants to walk that. So we all wait for George, to get up and get right and then drive us over there. So we leave around like 5:30, 5:35ish. The past couple practices we had, we ain't leave to like 5:40, 5:45 because we got to wait on Zach, get dressed and get right. So he definitely the worst.
That's the key for those Ram Village apartments. It's just the nobody gets left behind mentality. Everybody just has to look out for each other.
Yeah, for sure.
But with the last question, when it comes to the roommates, who has the best style?
Best style. Oh, I mean, we ain't really had no, get dressed type. I have to go.
Who's the most consistent with it?
I have to go me or George for sure. Me or George. Trey, he's like a sweatshirt, sweatpants type guy. Zach, he's like a Adidas sweatsuit guy, or like any matching sweatsuit. Me and George, we just casual. Like we have on, something slight with some great feats. So I say me or George.
That's cool. That's cool, man. I gotta ask. So you enrolled in January. It's only been what, like 4 months, 3.5
4
months.
months. Yeah.
What's the best part of college so far? Anything you can pick.
Best part of college so far. I'll probably say probably 2 classes a day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Having workouts, workouts early, have the 2 classes a day, then you're done for the rest of the day. I'll probably say the 2 classes a day for sure.
Yeah, I remember those days. It's like you used to be in a high school where you got class from like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's like, wait a minute, I start at 8 and I'm done at 10. That's it.
What? I'm telling you, that is the best feeling ever. Early classes, I say that.
Speaking of classes, what would you say the hardest class that you've taken so far? Because I think that's also a pretty big jump when you're going from high school to college.
Oh yeah, for sure. I said you said the worst class, right?
Yeah, the hardest or worst. Yeah.
Or the hardest. Yeah. I'm taking this class, Plan 59. It's called Plan 59. It is basically like you're learning about like the world fairs and stuff from years ago. And I mean, man, the class is just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the professor, she is great. Like, she is great. Like, half of the time, she probably don't know what she's saying, but she's going to break it down into details to where everybody in the class is going to get to know what she's saying. But I'll probably say that's the worst class. It's just learning about world's fairs and doing research on, things that me, my parents, or my grandparents probably went around for. So I'll probably say that's the worst class. That's the worst class ever.
Yeah, no, I remember that for sure. Well, you got some time to pick a major and everything. I don't know if you have yet, but like, what do you think you want to do? So let's say 30 years from now, you're a 10-time Pro Bowler, you won 10 Super Bowls, you've accomplished everything you can in football, you retire. What do you want to do after you're done with football? It doesn't sound like it's going to be learning about history.
It's definitely not learning about history. That is off the list. Definitely off the list. 10 years from now. I just want to have something like my own business or something like that, to where it's like I don't have to worry about working for nobody or worrying about this and that, just continue to build my brand off the field as a person, not as a student athlete, just build my brand as a person, let people get to know Travis Shaw outside of the helmet, probably something like that.
Yeah. And then maybe it's like a cheese business, Cheesy Trav. It's selling different kinds of cheese.
After a long career with the Packers or something?
Yeah, I like that.
Packer fans are going to be praying for Travis Shaw to start blowing up with the name Cheesy Trav. But Travis, I was on your Instagram, and I'm somebody who is big with tattoos, and notice you have a bunch on your arms. Can you explain to the people what your tattoos are and the significance of the ones that you do have so far?
Yeah. Do I need to put them in the camera or just talk about them?
You could just talk about them, show them off if you want, but for the people that are listening too.
Gotcha. So my left forearm on the top, I have my mom's name. That was my first tattoo. She told me I couldn't get a tattoo unless it was her name first. So I got my mom's name. Then on the back of my left forearm, it's my niece's birthday. So I got my niece's birthday in Roman numerals. On my left bicep, I got 336. Got to represent the city. On my right wrist, I got a rose. On my right forearm, I got a cross with blessed right up underneath it, just because everything I do, I give it to him. I'm really blessed, from where I come from to be in a position I am now. So I'm really blessed with that. And then on the back of my forearm, I got a script that says, "Love your enemies, do good to those who hurt you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who mislead you." Yeah, I got that. Then my most recent one, I have tiger face on my right shoulder. I have a tiger face. Then you got some leaves at the bottom. And that just represents my mentality, the go-getter, the evil mindset. And then on my right calf slash shin, I got another rose with like chosen coming out beneath it. It says chosen, like coming out the rose. Just because I feel like, like I said, from where I'm from, I'm so blessed and just blessed to be in this position. And I just feel like I'm the chosen one.
Those are cool.
And those are all my tattoos.
Any more on the way or any ideas?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I also got, like just stars and clouds in to fill around. I was just thinking about this, like, man, I'm still a little, empty on my left forearm. I was really thinking about going this weekend, to fill something in, but I don't really have any new other tattoos in mind yet. So for the people, if you would like to give me some tattoo suggestions, go ahead and send them my way, my man.
There
for
it is.
Sure.
And make sure you send it to the right Travis Shaw too, so it doesn't
to
end
the
up with a
right
baseball.
Travis Shaw. To the right Travis Shaw, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, that brings us to what is my favorite portion of the show. Brought to you by Grindhouse Supply, a local company based in Benson, North Carolina, that has exclusive collections of vintage movie posters and apparel. It's owned by Carolina fans, so you'd be supporting one of our own, which is always awesome. We've got that everybody eats mentality in 2022. So check them out, grindhouse.com. That's grindhaus.com, and support the people that are supporting our favorite players. So the movie porch, Travis, this is my favorite part here. Everybody's got that movie that they've watched 10 times and they can keep watching on repeat for the rest of their life. One, I want to ask you, what's that movie for you? And two, when you're watching it, what are your movie theater go-to snacks?
Ooh, my favorite movie. I got a lot of movies like I can go back and watch over and over and over. But I'll probably say the number one that I can turn on and just watch start to finish and tell you everything that's about to happen, probably Friday After Next.
Yeah, let's go.
Sure. For sure. And favorite movie snacks. Favorite movie snack, I'll probably say like some Skittles or some peanut butter Reese's cups, and then I'll probably say some cheddar ruffles or something.
You had me till the cheddar ruffles, man. I was right with you on the first two, but the cheddar ruffles. Yeah.
Whoa, gotta have the cheddar ruffles in there.
I was also out on the cheddar ruffles. So
oh my!
The youth these days, man.
Oh my!
But Travis, getting back to the football bit, you played in a state title game in Kenan Stadium before you had even committed to UNC. What was that experience like for you playing in such a big stadium?
I mean, it was wild, man. It was wild, I mean, it just gave me another edge and another, motor, just because like they were in my top, at the time they were in my top schools of choice to pick. So, just being in the atmosphere of, one of the schools that you're potentially going to, and, this, that, and third, it just felt amazing, just still being in high school, playing for something big in a big atmosphere. It was just mind blowing to just feel like I was getting the experience, not being a student, not being a college athlete, still being in high school, just playing in a college atmosphere, and having, both sides packed out. It was really amazing. It was really amazing.
What are you imagining it'll be like for that first game when you play? Have you had time to kind of take it all in and think about that moment coming up?
I mean, as a student athlete, everybody has that thought process in the back of their mind to where it's like, everything's gonna be sped up, everything's gonna be louder, blah blah blah. But I mean, when you in the game and you locked in, and you got a goal to achieve, you got a job that your coaches want you to do, and you're not playing unless you're getting that job done. The only big thing that's in my mind right now is just, making sure I get the play call in time enough to get myself set and, get my, stuff like that. So I'll probably say that's the biggest thing I'm worried about right now is just, with everything being riled up and, everything moving faster. I feel like you only get sped up if you allow yourself to get sped up and, the things around you. So I'll probably say my biggest thing right now, is just making sure I'm focused and locked in when, everybody's yelling and, this, that, and the third. You got the band playing. I'll probably just say my main focus right now is just making sure I look at the sideline, looking for, whoever is giving the signal calls out and make sure I get that down. I'll probably say that's the biggest thought process right now.
You were absolutely on the right track. Like I remember my first game running out on the field and I'm sitting there looking around like I'm starstruck because I went to a small high school, man. Like, so we didn't have people at our games. We were lucky if everybody's parents even came. And so I'm looking around and I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. And then all of a sudden the offense is lined up and I'm looking at Kevin Reddick. I'm like, K-Red, what's the play? And I'm thinking that's what I said. I'm sure I was probably just yelling and mumbling. He's like, he goes, well, man, just ball. And I was like, bro, what do I do? What do I do? So my first play, you get grades in every game. My first play was definitely a minus, but I think I had some pluses after that.
That's crazy because during the spring game, I had that exact same experience. I had it 2 times. It always right when the substitution is happening. So substitution is happening, and I'm coming in, and the spring game, it's not as loud as a regular game would be. So it's like it's still a lot of commotion going on. There's it's still just so I'm looking, and I promise you, I'm looking at the sideline, and it's just like I think I just zoned out because I'm looking at the signal caller giving me the signal call, and after he was done, I'm like, what's the call? So I'm looking at Javari. The first time it happened, I'm looking at Javari, and I'm like, Javari, what's the call? Javari, what's the call? And he's like, hold on, let me look real quick. I'm like, Javari, he already gave a call out. What's the call? So he's like, oh, just line up in a blah, 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 and just go. I'm like, all right. Yeah. So the next time it comes, and I'm looking, and I got the call, but I got the wrong call. So I got the DB's call. I didn't get the D-line call. So I'm looking, and I'm like, Miles, what's the call? And Miles, the response Miles gave, it was just not the call at all. It was just incorrect. So I'm looking, I'm like, Miles, what's the call? Miles, like, what we got? He's like, just line up in the 2-hour, and then just, I ain't gonna say exactly what he said. He said, basically, it was just line up in the 2-hour and mess the center up. It was just like, all right, Miles, I got you, because either it's 2-hour or it's a zero tech. So it's like either one of them I'll be correct, but it's which one of those is correct. So he was just like line up in the 2-hour and just mess the center up.
And that's funny because like those are the differences that can change a football play. But like to the average fan, you might not be able to see the difference between a 2-eye, a zero, and a shade, but those 6 inches change everything for you.
Definitely does. Yeah, and coaches is real strict about what they want. So definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. So when you're on that field and you are settled in and you're getting the play calls and you're up to speed and everything, like how would you describe yourself as a player? I know you said on the basketball court that you got small man skills. What is it in football?
Oh, in football, once I'm feeling good, I'm locked in, I'm getting everything I need, and it's time to just strap up and it's time to go, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to do this for my family and you're trying to do this for your family. But at the end of the day, it's like one of us got to win and one of us got to lose. And I'm not much of a loser. So it's like, it's like me versus me and you versus you.
Yeah.
So once that ball is lined up and, we're both standing against each other, it's either like you're going to go down or I'm going to go down. And there's no way I'm going down. So it's just like, just strap it up and it's time to just go release it. So I'll just say when I'm on the field, the number one thing is I'm a leader.
Yeah.
So everybody around me, is going to be feeling that, giving it the energy that I'm giving off. They're going to be feeling that. So it's going to pick everybody up around me. But I'll just say for what, my team and the fans can expect would just be like an animal, a big wild animal, a huge wild animal just going crazy. A huge wild animal for sure.
I love it. Are you a trash talker out there? We don't need any examples, but are you a trash talker out on the field?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm a trash talker for sure. I mean, you got some people that take the trash talk and they try to do too much with the trash talk and they make themselves look crazy. And then you got some people with the trash talk and then they're like better their game. So like when I'm in the game, I want to be going against the best. So like, if I can trash talk you and get you off your game, okay, cool. But if I can trash talk you and then up your game and you try to go hard and this and the third, that's the type of physicality I like. So I just go out there and just trash talk, and I'm gonna trash talk to everybody, no matter what, no matter if you're playing, no matter if you're on the sideline, No matter if you're not even dressed out, I'm gonna trash talk to everybody for sure.
Everybody could get that trash talk.
Everybody gets it. Only people that will not get it is the coaches, because at the same time, you never know what can happen. That coach can end up at your school 2 weeks later. It's crazy stuff can happen. So that's the only people that don't get it is the coaches. Sure.
You talked about the music you listen to before games. One of the songs was like him. We've seen players describe themselves as him more and more recently. Caleb Love being the latest example during Carolina basketball's run in the tournament. How would you describe to people like me and Shaq who are maybe 5-6 years out of college, and then the fans who are even older than me and Shaq, what him actually means when you're out there?
Well, the word him, is getting thrown around too much. It's getting thrown around too much. But for those who don't know, I'm him. It just basically means like, I mean, it's just like the person that's going to make something happen, or the person that's going to stand out the most, or like, I'm him basically is just like summing up that nobody around me is messing with me on the level of the things that I'm doing, the things that I contribute to, the things that I'm putting out, it's just basically like you're different than everyone else. It's just like you're in your own bubble. And I'm not saying that as like a big head. It's just like nobody's on the same level as you, basically.
Yeah, to me, when I think about it, it's like a confidence thing, right? It's like, that guy that you've been hearing about, that's the like you said, the chosen, right? The guy you've been hearing about, that's the guy. Like, that's me. You're just letting them hey, you're raising your hand and saying, that's me.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm here.
You got the right one. Yeah, for sure.
No
that's
doubt.
Definitely what it means, for sure.
Well, it sounds like based on that, it's been a good one. But the question I wanted to ask next was just what that adjustment to college football has been like, the speed of the game, the physicality of the game, the mental aspect of it, all of it.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely different. It's definitely different to where, like everything about the game now is just different. In high school, if your coach calls a call and you're lined up wrong and you go make the play, hey, Travis made the play. But now it's like in college, it's like if a coach calls a call and you're in the wrong gap, but you still make the play, they're not even looking at you making the play. They're looking at, you lined up wrong. And it's basically just broken down more detailed and, like you said, more physicality and, more speed everywhere. So it's really like a big jump, but at the same time, it's just like when you really want it as bad as I do, it's just like either you're going to make yourself fit in or you're going to make yourself stand out. And you can stand out in a good way, you can stand out in a bad way. So, for me, it's just, it's really the same for me because I'm still having fun with it. I'm still having fun with it. And that's the ultimate goal is, to have fun with it. And, that Coach Tibbs will say execute. So as long as I'm having fun and I'm executing, it's really just the same for me.
We're recording this and the spring game was this past Saturday. How do you think the spring practices kind of went for you?
Oh, for spring practice for me, at first it was a little rocky, just learning how to practice as a college athlete, just learning how to practice, learning how to, go through some things, learning to keep my emotions that I let build up, learning to keep those hidden. So like if I was to tweak my ankle, not to let that be shown or anything like that, just learning how to be a college athlete. Wait, hold on. What's the question?
How spring practice went.
How spring practice went. Oh yeah. So it went really good. It went really good. Like I said, it started off a little rocky at first, just having to learn how to do things correctly and how to, basically just learning how to do things correctly, But as it went on, I'll probably say about the third, fourth practices, I was catching on and things like that. Like I still got a lot of things to work on, but overall, it definitely went great.
Yeah, and so one of the things you talked about is like that adjustment period and how different the game is. Like I can imagine because I did it too. Like enrolling early is such a big advantage. What went into your decision to do that?
Oh man, you know, it was really just like, so I hurt myself my junior year. So my junior year, I hurt myself, and so I was really out for most of my senior year. So most of my senior year, I was out, and that's where I started gaining a lot of my weight. So it was really just just to get up here and wanting to get working early on my injury. You know, basically it was just time to. It was just. I just felt like it was the right move. It was time to get serious, and it was time to stop playing around, stop wasting time, basically. So like at home, if I was still back in high school right now, basically I'll just be wasting time, wasting unnecessary time at that. So basically it was just, to go ahead, get the ball rolling, because now everything that I've been through as a freshman, it's just like, if I was not to enroll early, like thinking of like what the rest of our class has to go through, they're gonna be so behind. It's like they're gonna have to learn it on the fly, which is gonna be more pressure on them. And I just feel like it was the best move for me possible.
Yeah, it's such a phenomenal opportunity to come in and get 6 months of college football, to make that adjustment, to do all that before training camp. Because like you're saying, the first time that your class that didn't enroll early gets the opportunity to strap up the pads and take the field, is going to be in training camp. Yeah, camp when they put on pads. So yeah, they'll get some workouts, but then camp is the first time they'll put on pads, and we're getting ready for the season then. So it's a little different for sure. So it's pretty cool you got that. And you got to do it with one of my favorite coaches I've ever had, Coach Chiswick. So what's it been like? Talk to me about Chiz.
Man, Chiz is great. Coach Chiz, he's great. Coach Chiz, he's great. He has a plan, and it's like you wouldn't even think the plan wouldn't work, because he's like going to make it work. He came in from day one. He said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And since day one, nothing has changed. Like this practice, we may have a bad practice running the stuff that he's calling, but overall, it's just like he's going to stick with it. And you can really you can see the passion in his voice when he's talking to us. And even when he's talking to like individuals, you can show that he's really invested in the time that he's putting in, and the time that he's working with us, and just the things that he's saying, and the way he moves is just like, you can tell like he's really about business. And he's played in those big games, he's been in those big moments and things like that. So any athlete will tell you they will trust and believe someone more that's been in it than someone that hasn't been in it. So by him just being in it, been in those big moments, been in those big time games, making those big time calls, it just shows us that he's built for it. And it just shows us that what we're getting is something that we can believe in, something that's worth actually trying for. And he's a people's person. He knows how to talk to you. He's gonna still get up in you and get on you about things like that. But it's the way that he delivers, as the role that he has, the way that he delivers, and talks to us and me and my teammates is just outstanding. And it's like somebody that you would want to play for.
Yeah, for sure. As you're saying all that, all this stuff is running through my head. I'm remembering my first meeting. You got me ready to go back and strap up again. I think I have a year of eligibility left.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, me and Shaq only played for Coach Chiswick for 1 year, that 2015 season. But like, if you ask us, like he was one of our favorite people to interact with on a day-to-day basis, because like you said, it feels like he's giving you the game plan, and if you just focus on that game plan and do the things he says, you're going to find a lot more success. And I think that's why we were so much better from 2014 to 2015, when we went to the ACC championship and played Clemson. But you're listed at 6'5", 360 pounds. When you talk to the coaches on the defensive side of the ball, and you talk to the nutritionist, where do you think your ideal size would be for football, and how have you tried to work towards that goal? Because you mentioned when you were hurt, putting on some weight, and now trying to get that off. So how's that all been kind of going out for you?
Oh, it's been going really good. It's been going really good. I mean, like I said, when I hurt myself, I added a couple unwanted pounds, so as now I'm just talking to the coaches and talking to the nutritionists and talking to Luke and those guys that's deal with stuff like that. It's not even necessarily like, oh, it's mandatory, like they need to get me down, because this is really all on me. Like they want me to play at the best of what I'm feeling the best. So like, even though I am 360, it's like the way I'm still moving and things like that is still impressive. So it's not like they're forcing me to come down and things like that. But I just feel myself as like, take it back to my sophomore, junior year, when I was around the 330 era. That's where I felt the best at. That's where I felt more comfortable. That's where I felt, that's where I just felt good and healthy at. So that's my goal, to get back down there. And, as Emma came in from day one, I locked in with Emma from day one. And, I made terrific strides, coming down. So as I locked in with her and locked in with, Coach Hess and those guys in the weight room, I've made tremendous strides, bringing that down for sure.
That's cool, man. And I feel like, as we've wrapped up that previous question, I feel like we did someone a big old disservice. We always talk about Chiz on here. Coach Warren's a dog too, man. So I got to give him a shout out. Yeah, Chiz gets talked about a lot. Coach Warren's a dog too. So we got to make sure we give him a shout out. Everyone talks about Chiz, so Coach Warren sometimes gets forgotten, but that guy's a beast, man. And so I'm excited for him too.
Oh yeah, if Coach Blah wasn't around, I would say Coach Warren is the coolest coach ever, for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. That's cool. So we'll move on now that we gave him his shout out. But you were a much bigger recruit than me coming out of high school. You were a 5-star, like you were the guy, right? So when do you remember seeing the moment that like you just thought to yourself, like, I'm pretty good at this football thing?
Oh, man, that's a question I haven't got asked before, but I'll take it back. I was on my birthday trip and I went to New York. So I did a couple of traveling and stopping in places, and it was around my birthday, and I'll say my birthday was like 2 days before this happened. So I'm in my hotel, and I'm in my hotel, and me and my boys, we had just got like cleaned up and stuff like that. We had just came from, where were we coming from? Well, that doesn't matter. We were coming from somewhere. Yeah. And then we came back to the hotel. We showered and stuff like that, and then we got dressed. And then we were coming out of the hotel. It was a real big hotel. I can't really think of the name of the hotel right now, but it was in the middle of Times Square. So we're coming out of the hotel, and we're finna go walk outside and stuff like that. And as I'm coming outside, it's like 4 different families that's standing out there, and usually being so big, everybody gonna turn and look and this, that, and third, like, wow, who's that kid? So as I'm coming out, I just have 4 different families that's standing right there, and they're not associated with each other. It's like a family here, family there, family here. And as I'm coming out, you can always hear people talking, and you might not make it seem like you can hear them talking. So I hear the families all talking, and each family is just like, wow, that's Travis Shaw. And I can hear it, but I'm not like, oh yeah, what's up? That's me. I'm not feeding into it. So I'm just still walking, and I hear them, and they're like, wow, that's Travis Shaw. And then the little siblings, the younger kids, they came up to me and they were like, "Hi, Travis, da da da. Can we get a picture with you? This, that, and third, this, that, and third." So I'm like, wow, I'm way in New York. I'm not even in my city. I'm not even in my, my area where I should be well known at. I'm somewhere that's, that I have no clue who these people are. So I'm just there. And I'm like, wow, that's Travis Shaw. They come up asking me for pictures and stuff like that. And then it's like, wow, people actually know who I am. And as I just keep walking, it's just, different random people just coming up like, hey, what's up, Travis? Da, da, da. Go Tigers. Hey, what's up, Travis? Go Dogs. Go Hills. So it's just I'll probably say that's the moment where I realized I'm him for sure. For sure.
I had a really similar experience, man. I remember like senior year in high school, I was in church, and someone I've been going to church with for a bunch of years said, "You play football?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And so like that was my moment. Like you, for you, it was in New York with all strangers. For me, it was the old woman that went to my church. So it seems like we had similar experiences.
Shaq, what were you ranked out of high school, Shaq?
I don't want to say that. I'm not about to say the number with him on here.
I mean, when I try to get ranked, they say, "Nah, this is not even happening." At least you're in like the 400s. They couldn't even run out of they couldn't even go high enough to give me a ranking. Travis, a lot different than us. You know, you're a top 5. You were a top 5 recruit in the country. You were the top player in the state of North Carolina, the top player at your position. What was it like coming to Chapel Hill with such high expectations?
I mean, no, it really wasn't like, I would say it was really no pressure, you know. You know, I'm a dude, but you know, on the defensive side of the ball at Carolina, we have some dudes. And I just feel like those guys were, you know, just held back of their athletic ability, you know, with some like the calls and stuff that they were running. You know, we had some guys that didn't know what they were doing in this type of situation because they were never used to it before. You know, we had like pass rushers that was dropping in covers and things like that. So I would say it was definitely no pressure. You know, just being local, being a hometown guy, it's just like, it really just made it easier for me, you know, just to stay home and, you know, come in and, you know, get to playing. But like I said, it was really no pressure. You know, I'm the type of guy, anybody around me can tell you this. My high school coaches, my mom, my parents, anybody can tell you this. Like, I'm not a big, you know, focus on rankings guy, you know. Only time I'll see my rankings is when I get tagged or something on Instagram or things like that. Like, I would never go look myself up and be bragging about the type that I'm ranked this high and ranked this low, because at the end of the day, every time you suit up or every time, you know, put those cleats on, you have to show who you are as a person and who you. So, I mean, I had guys that was ranked above me at like some of these camps, and like some of the guys that was doing them in never did me like that. So it was just, you know, rankings is really biased, and you know, I'm the type that's never paid attention to those and things like that. So I didn't really, I mean, that stuff just really doesn't, you know, catch my attention.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the right mentality to come into it with, man, because if you come into it, that's where you get humbled really quick.
Exactly.
And now, I will say, though, most people do get humbled at some point or another, that welcome to college football moment. Have you had a welcome to college football moment yet?
I haven't. I mean, the only welcome to football college moment I had was, you know, having to get up for practice and lift and meetings and class. So that's I haven't had an on-field welcome to football moment yet. I haven't.
Well, I hope it never comes for you, man, because it's a scary moment when you get it.
I was gonna say the same thing. I remember mine came on a scout special team, thinking I was gonna make a play on kickoff, and Eric Ebron was waiting to blindside block me and decapitated me.
My guy Ebron.
Absolutely decapitated me. But with the guys that you've come in with and some of the guys that are already there, there was a big TikTok with you, George Pettaway, Holloway, Tony Grimes, Zach Rice, Andre Green, and Chapman. What were group chats like with that group where you're all recruiting each other and trying to figure out, you know, is it going to be Chapel Hill where you guys all team up at?
Oh man. Well, that TikTok you seen, I really wasn't supposed to be in that TikTok. I really wasn't. It was supposed to just be like a Virginia group TikTok. But as I seen them doing it, I'm like, nah, I'm about to jump in this TikTok. Like, I'm about to jump in it. Like, there's no way I'm standing out of this TikTok. So, but you know, the group chats, you know, I'm in plenty of group chats, you know, with the guys. And it was just, you know, we all just made it feel like, it felt like home to all of us, you know. It was no way that we could say no to Carolina. with the things that's going on, the things that's happening, the things that's happening outside of football, like, the new facility that's getting put in place and things like that. So it was really just a no-brainer of saying no to Carolina. And me and Zach, we've been knowing each other since we were like 8, 9-ish. So once I locked in with Carolina, I was a little bit nervous that he might have went to VA, but once I locked in with Carolina, I just knew like he was coming right behind me, coming to Carolina.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And you mentioned that it felt like a family, and like that was something
yeah.
that I felt like I saw and I could feel from y'all. What was that moment like when you decided you were coming to Carolina and you picked up that phone and made that call to Coach Brown and the coaching staff, or whoever it is you called? Like, what was their reaction when you were like, "Yeah, I'm coming to Chapel Hill"?
Oh man, I don't even know if I can say this right now. Well, so I had my commitment date for the 20th.
Yeah.
I was down here like July. It was somewhere towards the end of July. And I had my whole family with me, and all the coaches and the whole staff and everything. We were in this meeting and we were just talking. This is like, and we were just talking, and it was like something in my heart just made me feel like wrap this thing up, like wrap the recruitment process. This is the one, like this is the place to be. And as I'm sitting there, and I kid you not, you can ask anybody that was in the meeting, I kid you not, I sat there and I'm just sitting there and I'm just listening, blah, blah, blah. And as I'm looking around at my family, everybody just got the biggest smile on their face. And as I'm just sitting there, it was just like, wow. And then I just like, out of nowhere, I just felt myself crying. And right when I felt myself crying, like I just knew it was the right moment. Like I just knew it was, the place to be. I just knew it was the right fit for me and my family. My family was enjoying it, I was enjoying it. So as I'm sitting there and I'm just crying. And then like everybody's just looking at me like, dang, what did we say wrong? Or like, what do we like? Why is he crying for? So my emotions was just built up, and I was just sitting there and I was just crying, and I just like I was just going through it. And then Coach Brown, no, I think my mom made everybody get out, like my aunts and my uncles and my cousins and everything. I think she made them get out, and it was just me, my mom, my grandparents. And then the coaching staff. And as I'm sitting there, I'm just still crying. Now, I can't stop myself from crying. I'm like, man, what is going on, bro? Like you this big and you crying for no reason? Like, what are you doing? So that's all running through my head. Yeah. So Coach Brown, he gets up, he goes, grabs a box of tissues, he brings over that to me. So I wipe my face, and then like 5 minutes later, I just stood up and I'm like, I'm coming home, Coach. I'm staying home. I'm playing for you and your staff, this, that, and third. And at that moment, he just like, and then he starts crying. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is the place to be. So once I told him, he starts crying. You got Coach Cross giving out his speeches and prayers and stuff like that. So, I mean, once I told him, like I said, I told him like July-ish, towards the end of July, like, I'm coming home, this, that, and third, and he starts crying. So I'm like, yeah, this is the place to be. And then what like added the cherry on top was right after I said that, he was like to his staff and, to everybody else, we're going to keep this, closed in with just us. We're not going to let it out until, Travis lets it out, this, that, and third. So like, I'll probably say from the end of July to my commitment, they knew I was coming. They knew I was locked in with them. So, when I committed, it was just like everybody kept the same energy from when I committed, from when I verbally committed to when I actually committed. Everybody kept the same energy. They were still happy when I did commit on the 20th. I still got all the texts from all the coaches saying, glad to have you home, this, that, and third, blah, blah, blah. So that was the moment of when they found out I was committed.
Man, that's awesome. That's, again, like my story was not nearly that cool. I called them. They're like, who is this again? No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, man, Travis, appreciate you jumping on with us here today, man. And it's been a lot of fun. This went, I want to say, longer than any other podcast we've done. You gave us some great stuff. It was cool to hear from you, man. So I appreciate it. And to everyone listening, like, this is the kind of thing we hope to continue to bring you guys. So head to healsforlife.org. Check it out. Become a member. Help us keep doing things like this. And if you happen to see someone walking down the road with a Heals for Life hat on, ask them about the event we just had, right? We had an awesome event after the spring game. People got to interact with players, get some signed autographs here, radio show. We want to keep doing things like that, but we need your help for sure. So y'all check out healsforlife.org. Keep listening to the podcasts.